Zagor, after a spring visit to the tribe, returns to Darkwood and finds the cabin empty. Chico is gone, and the traces lead to the source of the Susquehanna. He soon discovers that Chico and Digging Bill are hunting for the legend of the cursed ship discovery and its gold, which should appear only one night, when a rare comet appears in the sky. In the dense, silent forest, they are followed by a third person, and greed and betrayal arrive before midnight.
Aha! Don't be afraid, dear friends. This is a cry of joy. It's spring. Life in Darkwood is awakening. At this time of year, the forest looks more and more beautiful to me every time. Besides, the situation is great. My annual visit to the Indian tribes has greatly cheered me up. I saw good Tunko, Tawara, Wupki, and all the other chiefs again. And also that nice and clever many-eyed shaman. All dear friends who confirmed to me that peace reigns in the whole forest. What more could I wish for? And Chico, that incorrigible lazybones, will also be satisfied. Although he is surely, as usual, angry about my long absence, and will start complaining to me immediately.
Chico! Hey, Chico! I'm back!
There's no answer.
Chico, aren't you going to greet an old friend who has returned from a trip?
1,000 scalps. The cabin is empty. Weird. Where could he have gone? It's almost lunchtime and I was sure I'd find him fiddling with the pots. There's some kind of message on the tail.
Dear Zagor, considering that everything is calm here and that you don't need me, I decided to go fishing at the source of the Susquehanna River. I'll be back soon. Chico.
I don't understand. Chico doesn't usually just leave like that. Besides, with all these fish-rich waters around, why would he even go so far, all the way to the source of the Susquehanna? I hope that Fatso hasn't gotten into some trouble again. But, just a moment, why are there 2 glasses on the tail? Someone was here, but it couldn't have been an enemy because Chico offered him a drink. Yes, I didn't notice them when I came, but there are some unknown tracks here. Boots. I don't know why, but these prints look somehow familiar to me. Maybe Chico went fishing with a friend, and maybe I'm really worrying for nothing. But if that's the case, why didn't he write me a message? Why did he hide the fact that he's not going alone? My intuition tells me that there's something worrying about this story. If I'm needed, Chico.
So far, much further, in an area where the forest is densest, almost completely unexplored.
Caramba, ye carambita! I curse myself for letting you persuade me to come with you. I've never seen a worse place than this. So help me all my family's mustaches. The air is so full of insects that it's enough to just breathe in to swallow hundreds of them. Compared to this, the Darkwood swamp is a true paradise. Besides, you know what I'm gonna tell you.
Mom! Mom, is that what you wanted to tell me? But I'm not your mom, my dear Chico.
One more stupid joke like this, Digging Bill, and I'll smash your face if my name isn't Don Chico Felipe Cayetano Lopez Martinez Yee.
Calm down, friend. Calm down. Spare me the listing of all your other surnames. The animals from these parts, but walk. We're almost there.
When you explained your plan for this crazy undertaking to me, you didn't tell me we'd have to go to this place forgotten by God and man, because otherwise I would have.
Trivia, dear Chico. It's just trivia. What is a little discomfort compared to fame and fortune?
Fame and fortune. It was with those words that you seduced my innocent soul and convinced me to leave my best friend and come with you. But now, doesn't it seem to you that the time has finally come for you to tell me something more, crazy seeker of non-existent treasures?
Of course, that's the least I can do for a brave man like you who agreed to help me in this new, exciting adventure. Unfortunately, as I already told you, due to lack of time, I wasn't able to reveal all the details to you immediately, but I will do so now that we are close to our goal. And to start with, let me immediately refute your claim. Because this time the treasure really exists. And I will prove it to you. Namely, as you know very well, I am primarily a scholar and only then a seeker. I could even call my education in the field of treasure encyclopedic, and not a single day goes by that I don't supplement it in some way. It was during that replenishment that I learned about the fantastic story of the Discovery ship.
But it's better to start from the beginning. Namely, while I was in Boston, I went to the library of a St. John's Abbey every day. As you surely know, that abbey is one of the oldest in the country, and its library contains extremely rare documents. And my attention was focused on them, hoping to find some interesting information. One day my patience was finally rewarded. Report on the disappearance of the Discovery, His Majesty's ship which sailed from Portsmouth on February 18, 1753, with a cargo of gold for the English colonies in the New World.
This looks like sensational news. In the spring of the same year, the Discovery sailed into Chesapeake Bay and set off up the Susquehanna River towards Fort George the Seine, where the gold was to be delivered. No, the ship never reached its destination. Captain James P. Holbrook betrayed his king and, together with other rebel officers, devised a wicked plan to seize His Majesty's gold. That is, he sailed the Discovery all the way to the source of the Susquehanna,
where a small lake is located, and there he anchored, and then, with the help of his band of traitors, committed a horrific crime. Massacring without mercy all other crew members, faithful subjects of His Majesty, who would certainly rebel against their evil deed. Having abandoned the ship, Captain Holbrook and his rebels set off through the unexplored forest that surrounded the area. Their plan was to reach a settlement to obtain carts for transporting gold bars. Here the story now mixes with legend. Namely, it seems that a comet passed through the sky that night. Because of its influence, the waters of the lake were roused, huge waves forever sunk the Discovery, its horrifying cargo of gold and corpses. In general, when Holbrook returned with carts for transporting gold, there was no trace of the Discovery at the source of the Susquehanna. Convinced that the hull had suddenly given way and that the ship had sunk because of it, Holbrook immediately ordered some of his men to dive into the lake, but it was in vain. Discovery has disappeared forever.
Goddamn. Impossible. Keep searching. Continue.
But, Captain, there's nothing down there.
Only alga and mud.
Soon after, the search had to be stopped. Namely, wild redskins attacked the shameful expedition which had to retreat, leaving a gas of the dead behind on the battlefield. A few days later, all the survivors, among whom was Holbrook, were arrested. At the trial, they confessed everything and were then hanged so that their death would serve as an example of how traitors of His Majesty the King of England end. Based on Holbrook's insights, a battalion of the Royal Army reached the source of the Susquehanna, but there he could only confirm that the captain was not lying. And, as the legend says, when the comet reappears above the New World, the ship will emerge from nowhere, then unspeakable horror will come. The Discovery really disappeared without a trace.
Stop. That was the end of the document. The rest was destroyed by moisture and completely illegible. But I would say that this is enough, isn't it?
Nothing, sir. There is no trace of the ship in this lake.
What? You mean we've come this far, just based on some stupid piece of paper? We came to look for a phantom ship that disappeared more than half a century ago. So help me all the mustaches of my family. I don't know what's stopping me from.
Peace. Peace. My irritable friend, it is obvious that you did not understand the meaning of my words. Of course, I wanted to say that what I read was enough for me to conduct further investigation. Do you think I'm so naive that I rely only on one sources of information?
To tell the truth, yes. I really think you're so naive. But okay, let me hear the rest.
With pleasure, dear Chico. But do you mind if we keep walking until then? I'm quite in a hurry. And you will soon understand why. So as I said, reading that document aroused my curiosity, and two details especially caught my eye. The mysterious sources of the Susquehanna, which somehow swallowed the entire ship, and an even more mysterious comet. This first one allows me to just skim over it because I want to keep the secret until the very end. And as for the comet, I can immediately reveal to you that, reading numerous other texts, I found out that a comet really did pass through the American sky that famous night. Not only that, I also found out that the passage of that comet caused numerous unusual phenomena. The levels of rivers and lakes first dropped and then suddenly rose, as happens with the tides, which, as you surely know, are controlled by another celestial body, the moon.
So what? I still don't understand what.
Well, that's obvious, my unintelligent Chico. Let's assume that Discovery reached the sources at a low water level stage, and that it was then completely covered by the lake when the water level rose. What do you say?
Caramba yo carambita. You're right. That didn't occur to me. But just a moment. Do you think I'm a fool? The ship is floating. If the water level rises, the ship will also rise.
That's a shrewd observation, my dear Chico, but it's easy to refute it. Namely, it is very likely that due to disruptions caused by the comet, the ship hit some rock that pierced its hull, after which it sank.
It all sounds a bit too complicated to me.
No, not at all. In fact, everything is very simple. But I just ask you not to stop every 2 steps, because in that case, we will never get there. Anyway, you haven't heard the most interesting part yet. Namely, based on precise astronomical calculations, that comet, which has since been known as Martinson's comet, after the scientist who processed it, will appear again above our heads tonight.
So what?
Heavens, Chico, are you so incapable that you can't even carry out the most ordinary deduction? Everything is crystal clear. Tonight, just like half a century ago, the comet will again cause the same unusual phenomenon. The water level of the Susquehanna will fall and the Discovery will emerge from its grave.
Caramba y carambita. True. That didn't occur to me either.
Do you understand now why we have to hurry? The water level will start to recede exactly at midnight, and it will only last for a few hours, and then everything will repeat itself only in a few dozen years. Besides, I really want to be the first to arrive at the scene. I'm certainly not the only person in America who is engaged in treasure hunting, and therefore there is a probability that someone else could have read that document and come to the same conclusions.
Frankly, I wouldn't be too worried about that. Believe me, there's only one man crazy enough to get into something like this, and that's you, Digging Bill.
I really hope you're right, Chico, so no one else will be able to share glory and...
Glory and wealth. Yes, I remembered that sentence. But there's one more thing that's not clear to me, and I'm really curious how you're going to explain that to me, smart guy.
And that is?
But you said that both Holbuck's people and English soldiers dived into the lake in search of the ship, but that none of them found absolutely nothing. You're smirking in vain. This time I've cornered you.
No, dear Chico. But the explanation of this riddle is part of the first point, the one that concerns the secret source, which, as I already told you, I want to keep to myself until the very end. But don't worry, you won't have to wait long. We're almost there.
UFF. So much the better, caramba. you carambita! I'm out of breath from all this rushing around. I lean against this tree for a moment and rest a little bit. But a very strange tree. It's smooth and round, like...
Oh, the mustaches of my family! Help! Help! Mommy!
Again, I think I already told you, my emotional friend, that I am not your mother and...
And I already told you no. Stop joking. Rather look over there.
A truly ugly encounter, I don't deny it. But there's no need to be afraid of those poor skeletons.
What do you think? Who are they? Or rather, who were they?
It's hard to say. Maybe it's about Hoblick's people, or English soldiers. Or perhaps unfortunate treasure hunters who, just like us now, had once set out to these regions.
And you tell me that so calmly, caramba, you caramaita. I will not stay here anymore. Not a single minute. I'm going back to my dear hut or swamp, which I shouldn't have left to come with you.
Well, I ask you once again to calm down, Chico. There really is no reason to be afraid. Here, one look at these poor remains, and at this spear of antique workmanship and rusty tip is enough. How to understand that these unfortunates died many years ago, and very probably at the hands of the same wild redskins who were mentioned in the document. But you know even better than I do that the Indians from this area are now absolutely peaceful, partly thanks to the efforts of our common friend Zagor. Therefore, let's forget those unreasonable fears and move on. I think I don't need to repeat to you that I'm in a terrible hurry and that...
Just a moment. I admit that your explanation sounds convincing regarding those skeletons, but this unpleasant encounter reminded me of one thing. And those are the words with which that document ended. Unspeakable horror?
Good God, your naivety will never cease to amaze me. Well, it is known that in all legends, besides true foundations, there are always elements of pure imagination, because otherwise it wouldn't be a legend, would it? So it's clear that a veil of mystery has been created around the true story of discovery by popular rumors. In short, people invented some horror to scare children and fools like you. In-ha!
Naivety, children, fools. Caramba, you carambita. If you think of me like that, then will you tell me why you were so insistent that I go with you?
Well, because you're a reliable friend, dear Chico. The most reliable I could find.
I warn you, Digging Bill, that flattery doesn't work on me. Besides...
Okay, but enough talk now. Look.
The source of the Susquehanna. So everything you said was true. So help me all my family's mustaches. The site of the Discovery tragedy. We found it. Although I don't know if I should be happy or, scared by this discovery. Anyway, as I said, there is no trace of your phantom ship here. T. Besides, look over there. Flowing out of the lake, Susquehanna is little more than a stream. Therefore, will you then tell me how a ship like Discovery could have gotten here? Maybe flying. I should have assumed. Here are the results of this crazy journey. Skeletons and a most ordinary well. Is that your treasure?
Caramba, y carambita! Will you finally stop smirking like a simpleton? Come on, admit that this whole journey of ours was a mess, a complete catastrophe.
No way.
How do you mean by no means? Well, you see that there is no ship here. And even if it had managed to get here by some magic, the lake is too shallow to cover it completely. Don't you think at least a part of it should be visible?
Of course, my choleric friend, you are completely right. Besides, the water is clear and it is excellently visible that there is absolutely nothing at the bottom.
Ah, so you finally admit that you didn't succeed this time either. Once again, you let yourself be deceived like the last fool.
I'm sorry to have to repeat myself, dear Chico, but the answer is still no.
Oh, to hell with it. Something has clearly gone wrong in your head, and I won't even try to understand what it's about anymore.
You have unintentionally partially found the key to the riddle, Chico. It is exactly that giving up that you just mentioned that is the biggest mistake. That's the mistake of all those who searched for the discovery for so many years and in the end were left empty-handed or lost their lives.
Well, damn flies. But I still don't understand what you want to tell me.
It's simple, dear Chico. Extremely simple. Namely, if you think a little better, you will realize that the only possible explanation for the mystery is that this is not the real source of the Susquehanna.
This is not the real source?
Exactly. That was the first point, which I wanted to keep secret until the very end, just so I could see the surprise on your face.
Well, I am certainly surprised, but couldn't that be another one of your absurd jokes?
Of course not, my suspicious friend. Of course not. I already told you that I am not just a seeker, but also a scholar. And a scholar never relies on just one sources of information. Therefore, in order to verify the story from that document, I conducted numerous other investigations and found an extremely interesting report from a geographical expedition from the end of the last century that investigated the upper reaches of the Susquehanna.
PIH, it's certainly another group of crazies.
By no means. The goal of that expedition was not the finding of the discovery, which is not even mentioned in the report about the lake, but the making of a map of this area which was practically completely unexplored until then. The result was exceptional, although obviously no one was aware of it. Namely, it was only my genius that connected the discovery of that expedition with the legend of the treasure.
Explain, please.
Very well, Chico. The solution to everything is extremely simple, and it is that Susquehanna has two sources. Exactly. This one we are currently on is not the real source, but a side channel. Holblick reached the famous lake by river, but when he was returning by land, he was deceived by that unusual geographical fact, and then the English soldiers and treasure hunters, less intelligent and less shrewd than me, were deceived in the same way. This lake, which cost so many unfortunate people their lives, was formed from a watercourse, which, separating from the main source, flows underground and springs up here. And the stream, as you called it, of course, it is not navigable and flows into the river through a narrow channel, do you see?
Unbelievable. Now I'm slowly starting to believe what you're saying, although I'm still not quite sure I understood it best.
It doesn't matter, dear Chico. You will understand everything when, in about 2 hours, we reach our true goal.
No, but just a moment. Where did you get that map? You didn't?
Stole? Of course I didn't. I just borrowed it. But now let's go, please. I hope you finally no longer doubt that we are waiting.
Glory and wealth. You can freely spare yourself the repetition, Caramban bi carambeta.
Move, dear Chico. We still have to cross this part of the forest and continue towards the northeast.
But even if we find the treasure, can you tell me how we will take it away from here?
We won't take it away, at least not in its entirety. We will only take a few bars that we can carry with us. And we will pay them to organize the expedition that will then pick up the entire cargo. As you can see, Chico, I thought of everything. The time has finally come for my great triumph, believe me.
Just a moment. Did you hear this too?
What was I supposed to hear?
Some kind of sound. A rustle. I could swear I heard someone's footsteps.
Calm down, friend. You're too nervous. It was surely a deer or some other animal.
I guess.
Two friends continue through the thick forest for the next 2 hours. And finally,
We're here, Chico. The map was accurate. This is the real source.
So help me all the mustaches of my family.
This is a unique, magnificent moment. I feel like I'm gonna faint from excitement.
I must admit you were right, Digging Bill. I was clearly wrong to doubt you. But what the devil are you doing now?
I kiss the earth, Chico, as Christopher Columbus kissed it when he landed on this beautiful continent. The endless continent is rich, with everything including legends and treasures, and I, Digging Bill, have shed light on one of those legends and found one of those treasures.
As for legends, it may be, but you still don't have the treasure in your hands. But look at this water. I've never seen anything like it. Caramba y carambita. It's shimmering, and there are some colored dots in it that are moving.
Yes, that's a pretty interesting phenomenon, as if it's a matter of thousands, or even millions of microscopic animals. But who cares? The only thing that matters is that we are now in a place where no one else has set foot for decades. The only problem is that these animals have clouded the water and therefore it is not possible to see the bottom. But tonight the comet will pass and
you won't see it.
Who cow? Who said that?
no, I don't know.
Hands up, people!
Caramba you carambita. Who? Who are you?
Who are we? Well, is it possible that you haven't figured it out yet, you moron? We are colleagues, of course. Treasure hunters like you, but a little less unfortunate.
Let me introduce myself. I am Professor Howard Flecker. Digging Bill. I know that very well. You are quite famous in our circles.
And I am. Circles? What circles?
The circles of treasure hunters, as my assistant Nick has already said. And it is my great honor to have the opportunity to personally meet a respected colleague like you. Although I will, unfortunately, have to disappoint you, considering that the gold of the discovery will be mine and not yours.
But, I don't understand.
In order, I will try to explain to you briefly. Namely, I have also been on the trail of Holbrook's treasure for a long time and, just like you, I found that old document in Boston. Then I, just like you, came to the report of that geographical expedition that you know well, but unfortunately someone stole from the booklet the map that was supposed to enable me to get here, maybe even before you.
A map? What map?
Come on, you know very well what I'm talking about? My assistants and I were already at the false sources when you arrived. And then we followed you all the way here, eavesdropping on your conversations. Therefore, there's no point in denying it. You weren't fair at all, Digging Bill. And now I'll return the favor by taking back what's mine. And even by force, if necessary.
I better not bother you anymore. Namely, I don't belong to your circles, and I wouldn't want to get involved in such a nice conversation between colleagues. See you, Popa.
Where are you going, fool?
Well, if you care so much about my company, okay, we could stay with you a little longer.
But you can't do that, Flecker. You can't just destroy my work, my dream.
And why couldn't I? Well, you were also a step away from destroying mine.
No, please. We can join forces. I'm ready to share glory and wealth with you.
I've heard this sentence many times. So help me all my family's mustaches.
Don't be funny, Digging Bill. Why would I share the treasure with you when I can take it all?
You won't kill us.
Of course I won't. I hate violence. For starters, we'll tightly tie you up to avoid unpleasant surprises from your side. And then we'll decide what we'll do.
I'm sorry, Professor, but the decision has already been made.
What? I don't understand, Barty. What the hell's wrong with you?
It has been a small change in the S program.
What? What does all this mean now?
Simply that we don't need you anymore. You damned madman. Cause the Discovery treasure will be only ours, Nick's and mine. In ha 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 ha. It never even occurred to us that you, thanks to these two fools, would actually lead us to the source of the Susquehanna, but you paid well and we had nothing to lose following you.
Yes, and as things stand now, we could make a lot of money.
I am surprised and offended.
And I share my colleague's opinion, for God's sake.
I am not a colleague, but I am joining them. Caramba, you carambita. You won't get away with it, you damned rogues.
Haha, are you sure, Fatso? No one knows we're here.
No one will ever think to come looking for you in this backwater. Well, enough talk. It's time to say goodbye, people. Goodbye forever.
No, stop. You mustn't do that. Without me, you will never be able to find the ore and treasure.
Nonsense. We are familiar with the story of the comet and everything else. What else could we need?
Let's bring this to an end, Nick.
What is this, a scream?
Zagor!
So help me. I don't know where you came from, you damned. But if you're looking for hot lead, know that I have it in abundance.
And I have a nice kick in the butt for you caramba dear.
Oh,
Damn bastard!
Ah! Quick, Digging Bill, help me!
go to hell.
So help me all the mustaches of my family!
Get up, murderer.
Hi-ass son of a bitch. I'll tear you to pieces.
With the strength of a desperate man, Bart reacts quickly and manages to surprise Zagor.
Ah.
Here you go, you damned.
Oh.
I'll kill you with my own hands. Die, you bastard. Die!
1,000 scalps. This beast is incredibly strong. It's gonna choke me.
Shoot, Chico, shoot!
But I could hit Zagor.
I have to get him off me somehow, or I'm really finished.
The spirit with the axe is vibrating over himself.
Ah!
And now you will regret that you provoked Zagor, man.
But instead of a furious reaction, Bart remains motionless, lying down while blood flows from the edge of his lips, his eyes wide with mortal terror.
1,000 scalps.
Back off, Zagor. I have all that lead ready for him that he had intended for us.
It won't be necessary, Chico. This villain is dead.
Dead from a simple fall. Impossible. He was strong as an ox and...
After Zagor turned the corpse over, the reason for Bart's mysterious death becomes crystal clear.
A dagger.
Yes. Ancient dagger that who knows how and who knows when ended up among the roots of this tree. Fate wanted this scum to fall right on it.
Ancient dagger. Quick, let me see. But, well, yes. This is fantastic. Now there really is no doubt. This is an English dagger. Do you understand what that means? Someone from Holbucks must have lost it. People, this is definitive proof that Discovery is here.
1,000 scalps. First of all, I want an explanation for all this immediately. Digging Bill, and it will have to be very convincing because I already feel like I'm slowly losing patience.
The alarm down, friend. It's clear to me that you're angry at Digging Bill and me, but when you find out why we came here, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Or at least I hope so. You know, everything is very simple. Everyone thought the treasure was in the wrong source, but in fact it was the right one, and that's why no one ever found it. But Digging Bill discovered the map in Boston, and the comet.
What are you babbling about, Trabran Joe? I warn you that the last remnants of my patience are coming to an end.
Don't let anger overwhelm you.
I will explain everything to you, dear Zagor. Everything would have gone smoothly, and we wouldn't have found ourselves in this trouble if Professor Flecker.
Finally, someone mentioned me. I thought you had already forgotten me. But I have not forgotten you, and I am sorry to inform you that I have again taken all the strings of this situation into my own hands. Of course, I'm sorry for you.
And who is this now?
That's Professor Flecker, my esteemed colleague. It's unforgivable that I didn't introduce you immediately.
Oh, you don't need to bother, dear Digging Bill. Now you will have enough time to inform your friend because we are returning to my original plan. Therefore, be kind and tie up Mr. Chico and KHM Zagor if I heard your name correctly. And then I will tie you up and...
By all my Darkwood drums.
With lightning speed, the master of Darkwood draws his pistol.
CIH. Now I've really lost my patience.
And his precise high-tack disarms Flecker before he could pull the trigger.
To hell with it.
Stop, Professor. And you owe me certain explanations.
Today really is not my lucky day. Damn this howl that makes my blood run cold in my veins. Let me go.
Shall I let you go? No problem.
No.
And maybe now I will finally find out what the devil is going on here. By all the drums of Darkwood. Come on, Professor, now we'll have a nice little chat.
But, I was joking. I absolutely didn't mean. You don't think so, do you?
Forward. You will explain everything to me peacefully soon.
A little later.
Professor Flecker, I won't hide that I consider your behavior extremely rude and unworthy of a scholar and colleague like you.
Oh, shut up, please.
Now we will finally sit down and talk. Or rather, you will talk.
Although a little disconnected, Chico Digging Bill introduces Zagor to the whole situation.
You deserve to be properly scourged, Digging Billy. This is another one of your damned undertakings that endangers, unfortunately, not only your life but also the lives of your fellow friends.
But Zagor,
Caramba y carambita. You are absolutely right, friend. I was just telling him that from the very beginning...
You better shut up about that, fatso.
But, Zagor, what do you want to say? I don't?
You are just as guilty as he is. You couldn't be left alone for a moment without getting into some trouble. Thank God you wrote me your destination because, of course, you would be a dead Mexican now.
You're right, Zagor. But you have to admit that this time, the possible results of my endeavor were very tempting. And if we hadn't run into Flecker and his villains, everything would have gone perfectly smoothly.
I'll be free to correct you. Namely, they weren't my villains at all, but only my assistants. I hired them for this expedition and had no idea they were the most ordinary thugs.
You shut up. By pointing a gun at us, you showed that you are no better than Nick and Bart.
But I didn't want to kill anyone.
True, Zagor. Professor Flecker did not have such malicious intentions and was just as surprised as we were by the move of those two. Nitkova!
Yes, and I can confirm that.
Thank you, esteemed colleague. And thank you, Senior Chico.
You're welcome.
Everything is all right.
Enough, jokers. I don't know what's stopping me from.
Slowly, Zagor. Slowly. I certainly do not intend to justify the professor's behavior, but considering that he is my colleague, I can somewhat understand the reasons for his somewhat incorrect behavior.
Especially since, as I already mentioned, it was no less incorrect on your part to steal the map from the library.
Yes, I cannot deny that, but you know that a man sometimes loses his head during the fever of the treasure hunt.
1,000 scalps. I thought it was a real misfortune to know a crazy treasure hunter like you, Digging Bill, but now I see that there is an even greater misfortune. And that is to know two people.
I would suggest, dear friends, that we forget everything that has happened so far and that we join forces, especially since evening is approaching and Martinson's comet will soon appear in the sky.
Your proposal, dear colleague, is similar to mine from half an hour ago that you rejected, but now I will show generosity and accept it.
Thank you, colleague.
PIH. If there's one thing your colleague's in, it's that your cheeks are thicker than soles.
Don't lose your nerve, friend. Besides, don't you think everything ended well?
Good. The death of two men, whatever they were, is good for you. And is it good for you that I always have to get you out of incredible troubles that you get yourself into?
I only said that to calm you down, Zagor.
But how did you find us here? Don't just tell me you knew there were two springs.
No, I didn't know that either. I simply followed your tracks and thank goodness they were clear because otherwise I wouldn't have found you in time.
Dear friends, I would say that the time has come to end this discussion and forget all disagreements. Not far from here, among the trees, are my backpacks in which I have 2 tents and a mountain of groceries. What do you say to waiting for the comet to arrive in better conditions and gas of the stomach?
Those are real words. Karambashi, karambashi.
Burying Nick Bart, 4 men pitch tents as the sun sets over the Susquehanna spring. OTOM, when darkness enveloped the forest, an unusual sight appears before the eyes of our heroes. Microorganisms that inhabit the lake create a magical multicolored lighting effect, giving the environment a fairy tale appearance.
All my family's mustaches. This is fantastic.
I've never seen anything like it, 1,000 scalps.
Oh! Yes, it's beautiful. And perhaps nowhere else in the world does something like this exist. If we analyzed them, the samples of this water would reveal incredible secrets from the fields of chemistry.
Well, for now I can reveal one secret to you. Namely, all these colors and lights have definitely had an effect, and that is that my already envious appetite has only increased.
Ha 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 ha!
Then let's go to the tale.
Half an hour later.
Karambai karambita, you really brought a mountain of delicacies, Professor Flecker. I don't remember when I last ate so well.
And it's not over yet, my dear Chico. For the end of such a nice meal, there's nothing better than top-notch Scotch whiskey. I brought a bottle with me, and if you allow, it's time for me to go get it in my backpack.
We definitely allow it!
Are you still angry at me, Zagor?
No, Joe. I've already reconciled with your piggishness. And on the other hand, you came here to help a friend. A friend who has many flaws, but still a friend.
You can't imagine how much your words please me, Zagor. Almost as much as the whiskey we'll soon be tasting.
Ha! I'm sorry that I have to do this, my dear new friends, but in love, war, and the search for treasure. Here's the bottle. It had hidden at the very bottom of the rucksack. But in the end, I found it.
Hurrah!
Yippee!
Give me glasses, people. This is real nectar. I propose a toast to our friendship and the treasure of discovery.
Yes, to the fabulous treasure, which will soon be ours.
Not ours, but mine. I'm sorry that I have to pretend to drink this divine drink, but it's a small sacrifice. Soon everyone who drinks it will end up in Morpheus's arms, thanks to the sleeping powder I put inside. Ha 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 ha.
No, just at the moment when Zagor wanted to take the first sip.
I don't know, I heard some noise.
What is it, Zagor? What's happening?
As if someone is breaking through, Brush.
Flecker, I hope it's not another one of your helpers.
No, I guarantee it. I'm as surprised as you are.
Silence!
Now you can't hear anything anymore, but I'm sure I heard something. I wasn't mistaken. That noise again.
Come out of there, whoever you are!
Badger, you've taken a terrible risk, my friend.
Zagor, what happened?
Don't be afraid, people. It was just a poor, scared badger.
Hoochwas. I admit that I was already covered in a cold sweat. This place brings unbearable anxiety to me. The silence here is such that even the smallest rustle of leaves sounds like artillery fire.
Yes. That's really strange. No animal sounds are heard, no night birds are flying, and that badger is obviously somehow late because it seems that all his forest friends have already fled for seeing something.
Well, that's normal. A comet.
What do you mean, Flecker?
It's simple. It is reliably known that animals could foresee atmospheric phenomena before they happened, thanks to their so-called sixth sense, and therefore probably. In the same way, they foresaw the arrival of Martinson's comet and fled in fear.
Yes, that's right. That's certainly the problem.
So, a great event is approaching.
Yes, dear friends and colleagues. And therefore I suggest that we all go rest for half an hour so that we can be ready to welcome the fantastic spectacle that is before us. According to my calculations, the comet should appear around midnight, and therefore we have enough time.
True, I have come to the same conclusion. I approve of the proposal, esteemed colleague. But no way, especially since a strange sleepiness suddenly overtook me.
More too. It's definitely from that whiskey.
But I didn't toast because of that badger. Where did my glass end up? Here it is. Never mind, I would have only drunk out of courtesy anyway. Alcohol has never been among my passions.
Would you do me the honor and share a tent with me, dear Zagor?
Of course, Professor.
I don't want to let you out of my sight for a moment, you trickster. Don't think you fooled me with those sudden outbursts of friendship.
After you...
Thank you, Flecker.
Sometime later, surrounded by the silence that has covered the forest around the fairy tale spring of Susquehanna, and while the colored reflections of the lake remain without viewers, Digging Bill and Chico, under the influence of drugs, are sinking into a deep dreamless sleep. While in the other tent, Zagor, resting from recent exertion, decides to stay awake just in case. Just like Professor Flecker, who also doesn't think about sleeping.
Excellent. That powder must have already worked. I put a horse dose in it, and not even cannons would wake them up.
It seems that dear Professor Flecker is suffering from insomnia. I'd better follow him. I wouldn't want him to try to pull some trick on us again to get rid of us. For now, it seems that he just wants to enjoy the spectacle that the lake provides. I better wake up Chico and Digging Bill. Besides, half an hour has already passed. They better be awake, although. I still don't believe that a comet will appear tonight, and even less that that ship will emerge from the lake.
Wake up, Terrebonne Joe. Chico. Wake up, Chico.
1,000 scalps. He's sleeping somehow unnaturally, as if someone had drugged him. And Digging Bill is in the same condition. Whiskey. That damned Flecker must have put sleeping powder in the whiskey. Yes, that's the only possible explanation. Now I understand his insistence on toasting. He was certainly just pretending to drink, and I only by sheer chance didn't fall for his trick. I must remember to thank that badger if I ever meet him again. The professors will hear me now. Moreover, they will feel my blows. I should have beaten him fairly right away, and then left here with Chick, and left those two crazy treasure hunters to fend for themselves in this wilderness.
But, at the moment when Zagor reached Flecker, his body is shaken by a jerk and he lets out a muffled cry.
There he is. Yes, there he is.
1,000 scalps. What the devil is happening now?
A strange flash illuminates the sky from the east. And a moment later, a clear outline of a comet tears through the darkness.
Comet. Martinson's comet and
All the drums of Darkwood.
the great moment has arrived.
This is exceptional. I never would have thought that something like this could happen. So the calculations of Digging Bill and Flecker were correct after all. And apparently that document was also true. But I still can't believe that.
Almost as if in answer to Zagor's thoughts, the waters of the lake begin to dissolve. Colored microorganisms begin to pulsate and move frantically. And from the bottom, it seems a dull rumbling is coming.
Legend. The legend comes true. Yes, retreat, waters of the Susquehanna. Reveal your secret to me.
Thunder. He's gone completely crazy.
That's enough, Professor.
Who dares to disrupt this exceptional event?
Damn it. Regardless of this comet, you will now answer to me for that joke with the whiskey.
You damn brute. You are not worthy of witnessing such a wonder.
I am the chosen one! I'll get you! I'll kill you, you damned one! You'll never get my treasure!
Flecker furiously throws himself at Zagor who, surprised by the attack, stumbles and falls to the ground.
1,000 scalps!
Trying to defend himself from the professor's hitting and scratching.
It will be only mine!
As the lake level rapidly drops.
To hell with it!
Damn you! Damn you! You won't succeed in destroying my dream!
You're crazy, Flecker. You're completely crazy.
Ah!
And you can steal my treasure! Poor fool! You got what you deserved for your audacity!
The water is receding. Yes. No doubt, the whole lake is shrinking.
At the same moment, in the middle of the lake, something emerges from the water.
There it is. Ship's mast.
The water level in the lake is dropping faster and faster. Faster.
Fantastic.
Oh.
Not long after, everything fell silent again. Only the murmur of water, the creaking of old wood can be heard. Flecker was stunned by the sight that appeared before his eyes. And it is he, after so many years, the first to have the opportunity to see the old deck. Hull full of cannon ports. And then the entire fairy tale ship that looks like a ghostly, disturbing vision in the night.
Discovery has returned from its grave.
The legend has come true. After more than half a century, the ship of the unholy Captain Holbluck emerges with the creaking of wood that sounds like terrifying, muffled, painful sobs.
The water level of the lake is now very low. I will be able to go all the way to the ship. This site already represents a true treasure. A huge treasure for a man of science. I still can't believe my eyes. Paul Blick's gold will also enable me to study this extraordinary phenomenon. I will become famous.
My head, 1,000 scalps. If the blow had been just a little stronger, he would have killed me. Damn Flecker. And where did he disappear now?
By all the drums of Darkwood.
A wonderful sight appears before the widened eyes of the ghost with the axe.
This is not possible. I can't believe my eyes.
At the same time, Flecker arrives at the discovery. He climbs onto a large rock that reaches almost to the deck.
Flecker, no! Come back, you damned madman!
But the professor, overcome with his crazed excitement, doesn't hear at all, or doesn't want to hear, Zagor shouts.
Ha ha ha!
Ghostly laughing, with a crazed look, he moves towards the door that leads to the hold. And in the end disappears as if the very bowels of the ship had swallowed him.
Ha ha ha!
1,000 scalps. Flecker! Flecker!
Damn fool. The wood is rotten and everything could collapse on his head at any moment.
Zagor quickly covers the distance that separates him from the ship. Thanks to the same rock, he climbs to the railing and arrives on the deck of the Discovery.
1,000 scalps. This sight doesn't look calming at all, and the air here is much stuffier, and it's really hard to breathe. The hull is in much better condition than I thought, it seems to me, and it will hold. However, as if my sixth sense wants to warn me about something, there's something here. Professor Pi has certainly gone down to the hold. I must go get him and take him away from here.
Overcome with growing unease and tense senses, the spirit with the axe passes through the same door through which Flecker disappeared. In the darkness that is only disturbed by the overflowing reflections of microorganisms accumulated on the wooden walls, he descends into the bowels of the ship. He walks through corridors sunk in silence and surrounded in mysterious light, and goes deeper and deeper into the hold of the Discovery.
This broken door. The gold is certainly behind them.
Flecker, can you hear me? It's me, Zagor. You must leave the ship immediately. You could be killed if you stay here.
There he is. He didn't hear me at all.
Gold! Gold bars! The treasure of discovery! Now everything is mine! Only mine!
Flecker, have you gone crazy? Quick, come. This pile of rotten wood.
You again, you damned. You want to steal my gold.
But you won't get it! You'll never get it!
1,000 scalps!
Think a little, Flecker. I just want you to get out of here before it's too late.
No! No! Back off! Back! This gold is mine! Mine, do you understand? Don't you dare come near or I'll kill you! Do you hear me? I'll kill you!
Enough is enough, you old lunatic. I'm getting you out of this, Pete. Damn trap, whether you like it or not.
Ah!
Suddenly, Flecker's scream of rage turns into a piercing howl of pain.
Ah! Ah!
By all the drums of Darkwood.
Legend says the ship will emerge from nowhere, then unspeakable horror will happen. Unspeakable horror.
No, 1,000 scalps.
From the darkness of eternal night, from the abyss of death, the sailors of the Discovery are returning, killed by Captain Holpich.
It's not possible. I'm dreaming.
Silent, hallucinatory guardians of the cursed treasure.
Mare, this is a nightmare.
Astonished Zagor stumbles backwards, falling.
Ah!
And a moment later, the terrifying living dead reach him. With that, he shifts to counterattacks. But deadly danger helps the spirit with the axe to come to his senses, and he manages to avoid the frightening blow by a hair's breadth. With an acrobatic jump, Zagor is on his feet again, while his unimaginable opponent tries to take the sword still dirty from Flecker's blood.
Thunder. It's like I hit a wall. I used all my strength, but it seems it was in vain.
Back!
Not even bullets achieve any result against the hallucinatory creatures that continue to advance towards Zagor, tightening a mortal circle around him.
1,000 scalps. I have no chance of knocking them out of action. I must escape. But these monsters have blocked my path. There's no hope for me. Damn it. There has to be a way to neutralize them. There has to be.
At the same time, the fire spreads uncontrollably through the hold and catches the back of one of the living dead, which immediately turns into a torch, writhing desperately.
Fire. That's what can destroy them. Fire. Maybe there's still hope that I'll get out.
The monsters seem confused, frightened. They turn towards their friend who was burning, from whom the fire spreads to another.
This is the right moment. Now or never.
Unbelievable. Water can't put out the fire, it only makes it flare up even more. Surely those tiny creatures that inhabit this lake are responsible. That phenomenon.
They also probably, along with some mysterious comet influence, resurrected these unfortunate ones.
Recovering from the initial shock, the living dead seem to forget about the fire and turn back towards their victim.
Back! Don't come near me! Leave, you damned monsters! Go back where you came from! Get out of here, 1,000 scalps!
Thunder. The ship is shaking. It seems that the water level is rising again.
Yes. Martinson's comet is slowly disappearing from the sky above the Susquehanna. And the water is rising again as its level rises.
1,000 scalps. I don't have much time left to get out of this trap.
Only a few more steps separate Zagor from the deck of the Discovery. No, but the moment when he finally came out. He discovers that he is in a dead-end situation, surrounded by other monsters.
By all the drums of Darkwood.
As the lake level rises again to the ship's railing, while the fire fed by strange microorganisms spreads with terrifying force and speed.
Thunder. X, I won't succeed.
The spirit with the axe had only one last hope. After he freed himself from the monster that was about to hit him, he reaches the stairs leading to the forecastle.
Unless.
With a fantastic jump, he manages to grab the rope, which he uses as a kind of liana to fly over the deck, above the heads of the living dead.
If this old rope breaks, it will be my end.
It's time to leave here. 1,000 scalps!
While Zagor swims towards salvation. The terrifying guardians of the damned ship are destroyed by the frightening fury of the firewater. Then, completely exhausted, Zagor finally reaches the shore, leaving behind the hallucinatory hell of the Discovery. The ground. After which the last wave forever sinks the damned ship of Captain Holbuck, along with his cargo of horror gold. A few moments later, the source of Susquehanna finally calms down again and begins to shimmer again in the night, while the spirit with the axe, exhausted, sinks into a deep sleep. At the moment when the dawn of a new day once again illuminated the forest, nothing reminds us of the tragedy that happened. The animals have returned, and the birds have filled the sky with their cheerful song with which they greet the rising sun. Yes. Light has once again conquered darkness, and life has triumphed over death. And they really all wake up.
What a sleep, caramba, ye carambeta.
No, it's not possible.
What's wrong, Digging Bill?
It's morning. We slept through the whole night.
Tooth, so help me all my family's mustaches.
Unbelievable. Crazy. Why didn't you wake me up, you damn belly? Why?
But I?
Better for you. What you slept through, friends. Better for you, believe me.
Zagor. Zagor. What happened to you? What happened last night?
Where is Flecker? Has Discovery appeared? Answer, damn it!
Silence! You're asking me questions in vain. I don't know what to answer you. I could only tell you a hallucinatory nightmare, nothing else. The nightmare that killed that madman, Professor Flecker, and that could have cost us all our lives. But now it's all over. It has again been swallowed by the hellish depths from which it had emerged. And this time forever.
And the treasure?
To hell with the treasure. Don't you ever mention it again, Digging Bill, or you'll regret it. Look, this is the only real treasure. The sun shining again in the sky. The singing of birds. The wonderful voice of the slime that lives. Maybe one day I'll tell you what happened last night, but not now. It's time to leave here, friends, and return home to Darkwood.